It's another sunny Thursday. The birds are chirping outside. I got a smile. That guy's got a smile. It's Ben and Jack on Let's Do Lunch. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you smash that subscribe button. And thank you for joining us for what is Violins at the Ready, our final show of the series. Yep, final show of the series. But we are going out with an absolute bang because two really incredible names within the Kent business community are going to be joining us on the show today. They're both people who are massively involved in the business scene. Alison Parmar and also Luke Quilter, who is the CEO of Sleeping Giant Media, are both going to be on the show in a little while. But first things first, Jack. Yeah. Our final show of the series. Have you got a standout moment?
Oh, there's so many. Where would I start?
I'll tell you mine now.
Yeah,
I've got two. One of my favourite moments was you doing the ice bucket challenge because you were genuinely, your body went into a state of shock where you were really, really cold. So loved that. And my other favourite moment, I've got to say, was actually Stephen McKell. I thought he was fantastic. A brilliant guest on the show.
Yeah, picking his brains about TikTok. That was great.
But we've had some great guests like Kaz in one of the first episodes when she came on and spoke about like help that small businesses could get. Like a lot of small businesses messaged us and took a lot away from that interview, which is obviously great that they watched and they got that information. So yeah, there's many highlights and many low points. You eating that onion.
Yeah, that was pretty rank. It wasn't as rank, I don't think, for me eating it as it was for the viewers having to watch me dribble out of my mouth. That was a low point for me personally.
Yeah, I mean, that was bad. And actually, we'll get onto that in a minute because you've put a TikTok out there of you doing that, and you could just see like a little bit of onion, just like
it's not nice. Dribble.
Another one for me was Ben Linden absolutely smashing us on the press up challenge. Like we will stop, like we were cool, we done 10, and then there's just him going on until like 25.
I think he's still going now.
It's somewhere in Ramsgate right now. Benjamin Linden's still doing a press up challenge.
No one told him to stop.
No.
Duracell, buddy.
So he's still going. No, it's been brilliant though. It's been a really, really fun series. To fill the mold, so to speak, of me and Jack doing the live shows, we're going to be putting out there a little best of couple of week series. Best of guests, you've got 2 parts from that. You're also going to have best of challenge Jack, which is going to be really, really fun. And then we're going to have best of the show where me and Jack are going to talk through some of our favorite moments, play the clips and get each other's reactions. So yeah, that's coming up in the next couple of weeks, and then we'll be back fresh, new format, and with some more great guests. But as ever, let's start today's show with the SMEs in Kent featured 5. And I think let's do a serious one, Jack. Let's really put our all into promoting these businesses. You can start at number 1.
Serious? Okay, so I do it like Hugh Edwards reading the news.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's really relay that information and feel passionate about the businesses we're talking about here.
Okay, you ready?
I'm ready.
Buttercup Whitstable offer a free gift wrap service with their online business and will deliver locally for free and post out nationally. Looking for new baby gifts, children's birthdays, well done gifts for good homeschooling efforts? Choose a gift and Buttercup Whitstable will do the rest. Visit buttercupwhitstable.co.uk.
I love the passion. I loved it. Siobhan Hobson is opening a brand new boutique co-working space in Sevenoaks. It's called Help Suites. She is. They aren't able to open properly yet, but are running a series of free online networking events. And who doesn't love a virtual networking event? Find out more information on their Facebook page, facebook.com/Help Suites, SUITES.
Buy in the Bay are working with businesses preparing to reopen on the 15th of June, joining the awesome essential businesses who have been supporting the Bay community since lockdown. Find out more information through the link in their bio via Twitter, twitter.com/buyinthebayhb.
Can we have another lockdown?
Lockdown.
I like that. That was good. Get your business retail ready with M Turner Designs and customized vinyl floor stickers. Competitively priced, full customization and quick turnaround time. Find out more information on facebook.com/Mike Turner Designs. Yeah. I knew you was going to be immature at some point. Carry on.
Social Enterprise Kent is helping prepare workplaces to be a safe place for employees and customers. Their new bundle offer includes Getting Workplace Ready COVID-19 and includes infection control, PPE, health and safety and risk assessment, all for $29.99. Find out more. sektraining.org.uk/COVID/COVID-19.
There we go. Yeah, and quite important for everyone to get to know what they need to do for their workplace as well at the moment. If you're looking to promote your business, join our community on Facebook. Just go to facebook.com/groups/SMES Kent, that's SMEs Kent, and look out for our post. Right, hit that subscribe button. On the show today, we've got so much for you. Two great guests. Alison Parmar, who's the development manager of FSB in Kent and Medway. Of course, FSB's aim is to help deliver businesses, is to help smaller businesses achieve their ambitions. We're going to be talking a little bit about that recovery process for businesses as we come out of lockdown. Jack's going to be chatting to Luke Quilter, the CEO of Sleeping Giant Media. Of course, SGM Sleeping Giant are a fellow specialist search and social media marketing agency. They have a really, really amazing content strategy there. So we're going to be talking a little bit about live video content, a bit like what we're doing here, and how they've sort of managed to still produce content whilst in lockdown, obviously whilst the workplace is looking very different with people working from home. And also, today's 90-second tip is from this guy. Jack's going to be talking and a little bit about blurred transitions in Adobe Premiere Pro and how you can do it really, really easily. So that's all the show today. Hit subscribe, thumbs up, and we're going to do that within the next half an hour to 40 minutes. But first things first, as ever, challenge Jack to kick off the show. Jack, your biggest challenge yet is nearly over. Yeah. You've been aiming to reach 1,000 likes across your videos on TikTok by today's show. Actually, a new video's just gone up. Should we play it? Let's play it. Let's play it. It's the onion video that we were talking about a minute ago. Here we go. Let's share the audio.
Yeah. I hope no one's actually.
So here we go. Jack's just put this up. Go and follow him, by the way, at Challenge Jack on TikTok. He's doing really well. Here we go. Here's a video. Oh, that's on mute.
Of the general public. I am now going to eat this raw onion live for your entertainment. Oh, it stinks.
I want a big bite. Oh, it's that sound. Look, and watch a bit of onion. Look, can you see it? Oh. Oh, so go give that some love. Give that some likes. Yesterday, 3, 2, we relived the ice bucket challenge. Go. As I said, one of my favourite parts of the show. Look at that, look. Brilliant. On Tuesday's show, you duetted with Stephen McKell, TikTok superstar. I mean, this is where you got a little bit lost.
I'm so lame at this.
But you've done really well. Nearly 100 likes on that video alone. You're nearly a quarter of the way there to your 1,000 target, which I don't think is too bad at all. But of course, we want to try and reach that 1,000 likes mark. Stephen McKell's helped you there. How cool was that, by the way, that Stephen featured you in a video as well on his profile?
Yeah, no, that was great. It was great to have him on. He was a really nice fella, but you know, he really knows what he's doing on that TikTok, doesn't he?
Yeah, he would have had 1,000 likes by now. You've let us down a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. So we're a little bit off of that target. But I feel like the challenge was there to be achieved. So if you don't reach it, I think we need to punish you. So let's leave it to the viewers on what that punishment's going to be. If Jack doesn't reach that 1,000 like target by the end of today's show, should he either make himself a neck or down, whatever terminology you want to use, a Marmite milkshake or a chicken stock milkshake? Oh, both sound gross. Which one should he do? He's going to blend it live at the end of the show and do it live at the end of the show if he doesn't get 1,000 likes. So he needs 750 likes basically to save his bacon. It's not going to happen, is it? God, look at that. You can vote now at Digital Beans UK on Instagram, at Digital Beans UK on Twitter. Go vote, and we'll let you know the results at the end of the show. Jack, best of luck with this one, mate.
Yeah.
Could be our first
really, I mean, I really want that 1,000 likes.
Chicken stock milkshake sounds delicious. Right, let's move on with the show, shall we? And get our first guest on, Alison Parmar, who's the development manager of FSB in Kent and Medway. I mentioned earlier on, the Federation of Small Businesses aim is to help smaller businesses achieve their ambitions. And now more than ever, we need that to happen. Now more than ever, we need people like Alison, and we need the team at FSB Kent, Medway to all come together with us, like we have with your local delivery, and push these different initiatives and to push these different schemes to help smaller businesses get through these really, really tough times, which are, by the way, going to have an impact on business for ages. We've only just seen this week, actually, that small retail businesses are going to reopen. But the lasting impact is going to be bigger than just the lockdown period. It's not going to be like businesses open as normal, is it, Jack? Like next week.
No, exactly.
This is going to continue for a little while.
Yeah, it's going to be a real kind of phased thing, and also, you know, the number of people allowed in shops and the distancing and sanitizer and everything. I think it's going to be like that for some time.
It's going to be a little while before everything's back to normal. And that's why we wanted to get Alison on. We wanted to talk a little bit about the recovery process. And we also wanted to talk a little bit with Alison about what businesses can do now if they're searching and seeking for help out there. By the way, thank you for watching. Hit subscribe. I think Alison's just having a couple of technical difficulties, so we're just waiting for her to rejoin. Question for you, Jack. Amber at SGM at CPGI Media has just said, what's your username on TikTok?
It's Challenge Jack.
Apparently, BJL, Amber once got 2.4 million views on a video on TikTok.
Did she?
How did she do that?
What did she do?
What did she do? I don't know. Let's wait and see what Amber says on that one. But
Can you find that video so we can watch it? Maybe I can
play it.
Sneakily do a sneaky TikTok before the end of the show.
What duet with Amber on that video?
Why not?
Just steal it. Or you could just steal the idea and do it for yourself.
Either suits me, as long as I don't have to have a Marmite or chicken stock milkshake.
Well, that is true. Amber has just replied with good content and a winky face.
Ooh.
Yeah, ouch. There we go. Yeah, exactly. You're not there. Right, let's I think Alison's rejoined us. So let's see if we can go over to Alison now. Hey Alison. What happened? Technicalities weren't on our side there, were they?
You know, the fun of working from home and having 5 people sucking the internet dry. Yeah, sorry, I've just been yelling at them. Get off the internet, it's my go. Hi guys, nice to see you.
No, lovely to see you as well, Alison. Thank you for coming on. I know you're super busy right now because the SFB are doing all sorts. So I suppose let's start really simply with just getting a bit of an overview on what the Federation of Small Businesses and yourself have been doing for smaller businesses during this tough period, especially here in Kent.
Yes, so you're right, it's been busy, but that's our job, is to listen to and to represent small businesses. So kind of since Boris Johnson's first recommendation not to go to pubs, that was a tricky one, we've been working non-stop really to understand all the issues and bring case studies to national government and local councils. So that has resulted in things like the Sybil's coronavirus business interruption loan scheme, like the cash grants, like the bounce back loans, like the furlough scheme, like the self-employed income scheme. All of this stuff has been worked on by our policy advisors at head office, and we take in case studies from Folkestone, Dartford, Tunbridge Wells, and we put them all into the big national pot so that we can really help the government shape something that will really protect as many businesses as possible.
Yeah, because it's not easy. It's not easy, is it? Because there's so much new. This is going to sound really weird saying it like this. It really isn't a professional way to put it. But there's so much new stuff out there for businesses to have to do at the moment to stay afloat. So there's like schemes, there's grants, there's initiatives that they can jump on to sort of help them to be able to access that help. But it's being able to find it, isn't it? It's being able to understand it. And I suppose that's where you come in.
Yeah, absolutely. So a few right at the height of it, when it all really kicked off, we were talking to government day in, day out and updating our website twice a day with all the different announcements that are coming out, because obviously with 5.8 million businesses in the UK, small businesses, there's almost 5.8 million different scenarios. And your scenario is very different to the bakery down in Herne Bay compared to the mug shop in Cranbrook or what have you. So a lot of those businesses, it almost stretched the way that people were coping with it. So some firms adapted really quickly. They absolutely sprung on their initiatives. They created new products and new services. Others, a lot of them, hospitality industry, as you can imagine, and the pubs and restaurants. Jack's coughing nicely into his elbow there. Good job. A lot of them, that literally their income stopped overnight. So we had some businesses who managed to adapt so quickly and who will carry on and who will thrive, and others who are absolutely literally surviving and don't know their way out yet. We're talking about emerging out of the lockdown. A lot of businesses haven't got a clue when that might happen. The hairdressers, the pubs, the spas, all those tiny little businesses, the micro firms that make up so many of our little towns and villages across the county, don't know what that might look like and are seriously thinking whether it's going to be viable or not.
Yeah, and on that,
it's going to be really tricky.
It's going to be really tricky, and as you say there, and I've definitely seen it with my own eyes, there's definitely a push, isn't there, for COVID safe retail businesses to reopen in the coming weeks. Even a very short time frame really to be saying, yeah, you can do it now go do it. How are you seeing businesses react to effectively reopening for business over the next couple of weeks?
I missed that bit. The reopening. Sorry, Ben.
Yeah, sorry, no. So I was just saying that there seems to be a push for COVID-safe retail businesses to get open as soon as possible. So how are you seeing businesses react to that?
Kind of a mixture. I've been talking to quite a lot of them. So the hospitality and pubs just can't. And not often it's about, if you've only got half your customers coming in the door, you can't afford to pay your staff or your suppliers, so it's not worth opening again. But others, the behind the scenes, some of the professional services, some of those sort of the digital side of things, they're going to be flat out, and they've already been really busy. I've seen some of the bids, the business improvement districts.
Yeah.
So certain towns have got them, not all of them have. It's like a town team. There's one actually in Tunbridge Wells, been really helpful, issuing a kind of back to work toolkit for firms that want to reopen, with those 2-meter floor signs with posters on the door about the number of customers that can come in. So some local firms will be able to download that from their bid and use that as their own little marketing. There's not one clear picture at the moment about how it's going to work. It's going to be a lot of wait and see, do your COVID risk assessment, think about actually you're going to make any money if you do reopen. How are you going to pay everyone? The cash flow thing, that's the point of it, isn't it? So, and equally, a lot of businesses are really concerned about the safety of their staff and the safety of their customers. They're not just going to go, oh, great, government said I can reopen on the 15th. Here we go again, put their A board out on the pavement. They're going to be saying, how can they keep their reliable workforce safe as possible, as they have been doing for these last few weeks? How can they make sure that their customers are confident? Because that's the other thing. Do you actually want to go walking around and having a mooch around the shops, or going to sit in a restaurant next to somebody? If you're not confident as a consumer, that business owner is not feeling that confident either. So it's really rocky. It's not a case of just reopening the doors.
Yeah, and punching lampshades. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, it's really interesting, isn't it, Alison? Because you hit on consumers there. For us, as a big thing as a digital marketing agency is and of course, Pip owns a couple of e-commerce brands as well. Is that consumer behaviour and also lead generation? There's going to be a huge change over the coming months, which will continue to have an impact on smaller businesses, isn't there? And that's not just about the lockdown period. That's going to be after, as you mentioned there. Who's happy to go shopping right now?
Yeah, but equally, we've seen a real love for local coming through in all of this, and people kind of reconnecting with what is in their local vicinity. So actually the fishmongers saying, okay, if you're not going to walk into my fishmonger shop, I'll deliver. And they're using their delivery van to bomb around the town. I know quite a lot of pubs who've just said, well, the pub's shut, but I'll fill it with smaller kegs. And they're using it as a storage room, and they're delivering. So there's been a renewed love of local and buying from those smaller firms that give you that real bespoke little customer care that you perhaps don't get with the really mega global firms. And equally, there's kind of talk about the environment and that changing way we're working. We're not commuting, we're not driving up and down the M2, we're not driving a long way to meetings. And actually people have gone, I can still be quite productive, so why should I therefore use this office space? That's put pressure on the co-working shared spaces that we know and love in Kent. But it's meaning that people are really revisiting what are their options and what does that future look like for their business and their staff. It's going to be interesting. There's some things that I know a lot of people will want to keep, that real local connections and that supporting those tiny local firms, and that adapted to work way. So maybe in the office a couple of days a week, or maybe maintaining a lot of this face-to-face element online with a good internet connection.
with a good internet connection, of course. It's the important thing right now, isn't it? We keep seeing more and more internet vans driving around, actually, like, hey, we've got super reliable broadband. Want it?
Yeah, everywhere. Give me a booster.
Yeah, please, guys. So I wanted to talk about a bit about some of the surveys that you guys have been doing, and I think the one that you've just released within the last couple of days, week or so, about New Horizons. Can you tell us a little bit about it and some of those positive impacts that have been made?
Yeah, and I of course haven't got it right in front of me because I've moved from one part of the house to another. But the best part was what I'm sure you'll have seen and heard as well. 57% of small businesses absolutely were helping out that local community, and they were actually, this is nationwide as much as in Kent, they were actually putting their vulnerable customers first, or the vulnerable community first. I can think of one, for instance, it's a kind of a gardening, they make stoneware for like Hever Castle and Kew Gardens and all that kind of thing. And they have a beautiful show place in Langton Green. But they were like, well, we can't have people coming in anymore now. But what we will do is take our phone orders, because a lot of their customers are a bit in the more mature age bracket. They might not want to use the internet, but they will phone you up and order that stone lion or urn for the garden. So 57% of the small businesses were thinking about their vulnerable customers and the older age groups and different ways that they could really support the community. I haven't got all the stats in front of me, but there was things like, 26% of small firms were donating to food banks. That's
amazing.
A quarter of small firms. Now, that could have been the restaurant industry saying, I've got all this stock, we can't let it go to waste, but immediately driving it down to their local hospital, or not a hospital, but I know a lot of them who gave to NHS key workers, but equally 27%, 26% giving it to their food banks locally as well. So there was not food wastage going on in the SME community. So that was really nice. And I think it was about 16% who've switched or adapted their product line. So they are making that kind of PPE, the personal protective equipment, whether that's masks or hand sanitizers. I've heard of a new firm who doing vending machines. Now it's like a hand washing vending machine. So instead of getting your Diet Coke, you're washing your hands. I've seen a new product coming online about a temperature checker that you might be able to use in an office. So you walk past a screen and it'll figure out whether you've got a fever or not. So there's been a lot of businesses sort of pivoting, absolutely, for the benefit of all of us, for all of our good public health. And that's been really great to see.
Do you know the guy who I'm jealous of? The person who came up with the hand sanitizer units with a digital screen on them. Oh my God, what a brilliant idea, because from a commercial aspect, that is fantastic. To be able to have an advertisement on a sanitizing station, everyone's going to see it. Brilliant idea. That person's going to be a millionaire, whoever they are, whoever she is, they're going to be you.
Yeah, that's a good one. There's a nice, there's a local initiative going around you might have heard of, guys, the Make Masks UK.
Yes, yes.
You've heard of that one? So that's like somebody a manufacturing firm who usually makes curtains and blinds. Well, they've gone, actually, we can absolutely make non-medical face masks. So let's get sewing them. So there's been that switch as well, of people looking at what is their business and what equipment do they have that can benefit all of us in different ways. And that's been really good to see.
Yeah, pivoting. Some of the pivots that have happened have been truly remarkable, and definitely the ones that have moulded their business to help the further cause and the community, I think, are outstanding. Alison, where can people find the New Horizons piece that's out there from FSB, and where can people find you?
Yeah, so best place, and actually for things like the COVID risk assessment, a little checklist, fsb.org.uk. Go there, have a good look around. It's packed with information. You can find me, probably quickest way is FSB Kent on Twitter. So that's
amazing. No, that's brilliant. Alison, thank you so much for coming on, and thank you for taking out the time, and all the best with everything that's coming up in the coming weeks, and hopefully in the near future we can get you on again to talk about some more positive things that are happening with businesses local to us.
Thanks for the invitation, and thanks for bearing with my internet. Cheers.
No problem at all, Alison. Thank you. Take care. Bye, Alison. Bye. Had to get Alison on before we ended this series because she's just got so much knowledge, and she's just such an amazing link between small businesses and the whole Kent community. Amazing, Jack, to hear about some of the things that businesses are doing.
I know. I mean, we already touched on some of it, didn't we, in some earlier episodes? But Alison seems to have a real kind of insight into, things that we weren't aware of.
Yeah, and FSB, please go and check them out for that tick list, and please go and check them out for some more information on how you can make your workplace COVID friendly and COVID safe friendly, COVID safe and COVID friendly. Come in, and loads of different bits and pieces there for small businesses too. Right, hit that subscribe button, hit like on the video if you're watching on YouTube as well. Luke Quilter is coming on a little bit later on from Sleeping Giant Media, but first things first, let's do the 90-second tip today. And Jack, it's with you. I'm going to put 90 seconds on the clock in a mo. But before I do, tell us a little bit about what you're going to be doing.
All right, then. So anyone out there who's started making their own video content, anyone that's been making video content for some time, this could help any of you. Transitions. So going from one clip to the next. The most common one I think at the moment is like a jump cut, which is essentially where there is no transition. You just go from one clip to the next, which I will quickly show you before we start the tip. And then there's also the crossfade. Oh, the classic crossfade. But you know what I mean? These things are starting to get just a little bit stale and a little bit overused, as will the one I'm about to show you, I'm sure, at some point. But I'd like to show you just another quick trick just to kind of give your videos a bit more pace, a bit more pop with a nice little nifty transition.
Yeah, and transitions are key. They are crucial. If you can nail a transition, then everything will seem really, really seamless within your content. That's definitely for sure. Just quickly, you're going to be using Premiere Pro. Now, Premiere Pro is usually costs money. But just tell us a little bit about why Premiere Pro is definitely worth that investment if you are looking to make content.
Well, I think that it's a great investment since they switched to the subscription, method of payment. Because you used to have to pay, hundreds, sometimes thousands to buy that kind of software. But now you can get it for sort of £16, £17 a month. I mean, to me, for someone that does this for a living, that doesn't seem like much of a cost to me. So what you get with Premiere Pro is a full professional editing suite. So you've got, obviously, it's got great capability for your basic editing. It's got fantastic effects. It's got brilliant color grading options. It's got multiple options for multi-camera shoots where you can sync up all your footage from different cameras into one timeline, and you can literally click on the screen that you want to see, and that will create a brand new edit for you. I mean, it's so versatile, but also so incredibly capable. You can even do your own subtitles in there. You can do closed captions. You can create that as a sidecar file, an SRT file, so that you can upload that separately when on social media. So people have the option to switch subtitles on and off. And yeah, I think it's just, for me, it's the front runner in video editing, and for the price. Yeah, it's incredible, isn't it? It's never even, I've never even considered it a cost. Really.
I even don't think it's overcomplicated to use. I actually think it's quite simple to use once you get into it. And there's also a video out there for you to learn how to do everything, which is great with a piece of software like that. Right. So do you want to share your screen with me, and we'll get 90 seconds on the clock? Oh, I haven't done the stopwatch in ages. I'm well excited to do this. So Jack is going to demonstrate how to nail blurred transitions in 90 seconds. Did you say there's something you wanted to do before I start the clock?
Yeah, I'm just going to show what the transition looks like first.
Okay, cool. Right, go on. The screen is shared. Let's have a look.
Okay, so this is how the blurred. It's called like a whip pan. It often works better when you're moving your camera from side to side at the end of one shot, and you do the same at the beginning of the next. And you create that blur so it looks like the camera has turned quickly and appeared in a completely different location. That's one way of using it, but I'm just going to show you basically how it works.
Go on, man. Look at this. Oh. That's not playing.
It's not playing, is it?
No, it's not playing. Why is it not playing? What's wrong with it? Why is it not playing?
Drag it along. Oh, maybe it's my computer being really slow. Let's try again.
You have got the most slowest MacBook. Oh, here we go.
Sure.
There it is.
So you saw that. Play one more time. My cheesy face. You might not. Sure. Okay, so
right. 90 seconds.
Quite a nifty transition.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Oh, my phone's just gone locked. Perfect. 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, so here are your two clips. There's clip 1, there's clip 2. I want my playhead to be right in the middle of the two clips. First thing I'm going to go to do is go to the effects tab here in the project box and type in push. And here you'll see under the video transitions and slide, you've got the push option. Drag that between the two clips, and there's your little transition. What you then want to do is select the transition, go to effect controls, and here it says center cut. That's what you want. You can then pick the direction that you want the push to go in. I want to go from side to side. I'm now going to change that from 1 second simply to 7 frames. So that's going to be a relatively short transition. What I'm now going to do is go back here. I'm going to go new item. I'm going to select an adjustment layer. and that's what you want in the same aspect ratio. And then I'm going to drag that onto the timeline there above the transition, and then I'm going to cut that bit there so it only lasts that long. What I'm then going to do is go back to effects, and I'm going to pick directional blur. You drag that onto your adjustment layer. Your adjustment layer is selected. That means that you can now go up to here and do some stuff with it. We want the direction of the blur to be at 90 degrees because we're going from side to side. You don't want to set a toggle animation for your blur length, and you want to set that to 250 here in the middle of your transition. You then go back to the beginning of your transition and you reset that to 0. You then go to the end of the transition and reset that to 0. And what will happen then is you have this lovely blur transition.
That was more or less 90 seconds. Can you play it? Can we see it in a? Can we see it in?
I'll try. My computer is a bit laggy, and that's it. You've done it. Blur transition.
I like that. That's really, really cool. I never knew how to do that. That's wicked. Oh, thanks for that, Jack. That is cool. So Premiere Pro, it's as simple as that. There's your steps. We get the video out separately, so you can give it a go as well if you've got a spare 5-10 minutes at home and you weren't messing about your video content. But yeah, blur transitions. That is how to do it, and you heard it from the master himself. Hallelujah. Right, should we get our final guest on?
Yes.
Yes. We'll move this over to you.
All right, so today we have Luke Quilter, the CEO of Sleeping Giant Media. Sleeping Giant Media is a fellow specialist search and social media marketing agency specializing in the application of digital marketing in Kent. Luke.
Hi, guys.
How's it going?
Very well, thank you. Yeah, I was just enjoying your tutorial there. It's one of my things I've got on my list to do is to learn Premiere Pro. I've been an iMovie user for far too long, and I keep kind of backing out of the transition because it's so easy on iMovie. So I really need to I need to make the leap. So yeah, I'll have to get involved.
Definitely go for it. It opens up a whole new world of stuff. You'll never go back to iMovie. That's what I say.
Agreed. No, it does look very cool.
No, man, it works great. Anyway, thanks for coming on. You've got a really professional looking setup going on, and here I am in my dark, dank flat.
It's
this is a green screen.
You've done well, Ben. You've done well, mate.
Yeah.
It's almost like it's your living room. It looks like your living room.
A bedroom. But
okay. Yeah,
I mean it works, right?
It does. I mean, it's a crazy kind of situation we find ourselves in, and I was slightly fortunate. My parents live on one side of the house, we live on the other side of the house. They got stuck in Corfu. This is their bedroom. They're not coming back for any time soon, so I got rid of the bed that was here. I painted the wall. I've nicked some stuff from the office and created myself a little backdrop that looks reasonably all right. So yeah, it's it's only because I had an additional room that I could muck around with.
Yeah, I'm in a situation where I don't really have that luxury, but I thought that you were in the office. You've actually created that in your home.
This is from scratch. Yeah. So if you look back at our the content that we pushed out kind of earlier on, that was a kind of a white wall. The whiteboard behind me wasn't there. And so this is all running on my hang on a second, I don't know if it'll work actually. Hang on a second, Cam 2. So there's my second screen, so you can see the lighting jiggery pokery. Hold on a second, there we go. The jiggery pokery that we've been learning and kind of getting involved with over the last kind of 8 weeks, which has been an interesting one of just trying to completely adapt the way that you kind of deliver content remotely. So obviously we did a lot of it, but now it's a case of trying to do it from here, from my house. It's a bit different to having all the kit and all the team at the office.
Yeah, well, this is
as you know.
This is a massive reason why we wanted to talk to you. Obviously, the pandemic has made content creation, forced content creators to completely change the way that they do things, particularly when they're working from an office. So other than setting up this little studio in your house, what else have you kind of been doing to sort of adapt?
Yeah, I mean, so obviously we do a live show similar to you guys. We do 2 of those a week, and started off really just simply using Google Hangouts, and just as I sort of learned the tech. So I think the biggest challenge is, normally in the sort of the world before this, it would be you know, I've got a team of people that would be learning all the tech, experimenting with everything, and I just turn up, sit down, and go, you know, say what I'm told to say, and then they do all the wizardry in sort of beforehand and after, and doing an amazing job with it. And I think the biggest change has been a lot more of it sits on sort of my capability to try to understand some of the tech. So actually, you know, you did this sort of tutorial using Premiere Pro. You know, if I was going to do that, I'd have to learn Premiere Pro. I mean, what I've had to learn is OBS, Stream Deck, Stream PCs and stuff like that. So that's the tech that I've had to kind of get my head around to start with. And because, you know, because you're filming in a live environment, that, you know, you don't have to do as much post-production, so we're trying to get the quality up on the initial production, so that then it requires less post-production edit. You can still obviously do post-production as you guys do, and as we do as well, but it just helps if the kind of the initial streams of a decent kind of quality. So I think the change has been trying to get the person that would be in front of the camera to have to be a bit more involved in the production, and that's for us because obviously that was you know something that I didn't do beforehand. So that's been a kind of an interesting kind of learning curve. And also just kind of getting your head around how to present live shows as well. I know Ben's a pro. I mean, you know, he knows what he's doing. I was like, I just jumped in and I was like, hi, how's it going? And then gradually started to learn a few sort of things. But yeah, if you haven't got somebody who's got radio experience like Ben,
yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Have you watched
it's like
the show, Luke? I mean,
I have, and exactly again, you know what you're saying, mate. Every time we try to do it, I press the wrong button. So I go through this sheer panic about 5 minutes before we go live, and I'm panicking. Have I got the right buttons? Have I got the right scenes set up? Trying to then coordinate pushing to live. So there's, you know, it's high pressure for me. I know you're an old hand at this, but I'm panicking. I'm sweating. That's why I'm like.
I'm the same. I've never really done anything like this before, and like Ben's just so relaxed with it. Like the first 2 or 3 shows that I did, I was literally like really like high nerves, like high anxiety before we went live.
It's so high pressure.
People watching it, and 6 of them are our work colleagues. You know,
it doesn't matter. High pressure.
Do you know what though? One thing that I want to add to that, and I think me and Jack spoke about this the other day when we were reviewing the shows. If you go back and watch an early live video of what you done, what it looked like, how the interview went, how that sounded, what you're doing with it, and then realize where you've come in for us like 5 weeks, and Jack when he started out interviewing people, like to now how comfortably that's flowing, it really is. And it's the same with radio. It's about airtime. The more you do it, the better you will sound, and the easier you'll find a formula to make sure that things sort of flow naturally. And I think that's what's great. Like you guys started out, as you said, on Google Hangout, and you've got to a point now where you're streaming across like 5-6 different platforms with an amazing look, with guests there and everything. I know Danny's a bit of a brandaholic, like looking absolutely slick and great. And I think taking people on that journey as well is also important, because we're not, I mean, I know I do a bit of radio on the side, but we're not polished, all of us, like polished TV presenters. The reason why we're doing this is because we're passionate about delivering great content to help people and to give them something that gives them some ambition and drive. And I think that's what's great with what you guys are doing. And I think that's where we sit with doing these things as well.
I totally agree. It has definitely been a journey, and it's been an escalated journey. I think we were talking about this, and actually, you know, shout out to Danny, Amber, and Alex in the brand and marketing team, who do an incredible job with, you know, not just this but all the stuff. You know, we've got so much content and value that we're sort of trying to push out as well, because as you said, it's a crazy time, and if we can add an element of inspiration, if we can add an element of ideas and interaction and ideas that they can take back to their business to help them in some way. I mean, it's, you know, that's what we're kind of focusing on. So it's not just the show. There's so much that they've been kind of doing. But we've all been on this journey. And actually, we were talking, if we tried to do this probably 3, 4, 5 months ago, it would have taken us probably 3 or 4 months to formulate an idea to get to the point where we were happy with it being good enough to go live. Whereas we did it within about 4 hours this time, and then it was sketchy to start with, and it's got gradually kind of, you know, incrementally, it's kind of got better and better each kind of week as we've kind of, you know, got a bit more comfortable with the tech and all those sorts of things as well. So it's definitely, it's been an interesting journey.
That's funny. Ben and I were having a similar conversation this morning about, let's say, for example, the lockdown has forced us all to kind of adapt and change. And doing things like this, at first it seems scary, but there's a certain advantage to it. If we were to attempt to do this back in the office, all of a sudden you've got a tech headache. Like, okay, so now we need a mic each. It's got to go into one computer. We need to figure out, how do the guests work? Is it still what the platform we're using? How do we do it? Do they come into the office? And all of a sudden it seems so much more impractical to do this once lockdown's lifted. Yeah, no, totally. I think it also forces you to try new things a bit quicker. And I think, you know, we've been talking about this a lot. So I do a lot of talks for different groups around the UK, CEO groups, and also speaking events. And, you know, one of the things that we're pushing out is the restart up mentality. And this situation reminds me very much of what it was like 12 years ago when we set Sleeping Giant Media up, where, you know, you are trying things and it might not be great. It might fail instantly, but actually that's okay, because you've got to have no fear. You've got to push it out there, see if it works. If it works, great. If it doesn't, do something else. And I think, you know, there's a lot of parallels that we can kind of draw. And I think the message we're trying to push to people out is to say, you can think of this as a really terrible situation, and I know that it is for some, absolutely. But we shouldn't be focused on recovery. We shouldn't be focused on getting back to normal. We should be focused on reinvention, focusing on the future, and reminding ourselves and thinking this as a startup opportunity. Because if we see this as an opportunity, we'll probably have better ideas. We'll probably get to a revenue level or to wherever you want to aim for quicker with that mentality than we would if we focused on, you know, the way that we used to do it. And you know, so I think we've got to see this as an opportunity, try new things. Not all of them are going to be great, and have some fun whilst you're doing it. Absolutely, totally agree. We sort of touched a little bit on earlier about how it's forced everybody, but specific to our industry, how it's forced us to kind of change and adapt the way we do things. There've been a lot of collaborations, and I think the digital industry seems to have been pulling together a lot. So what are your sort of thoughts on that, and how the attitudes have kind of been forced to change? Yeah, I think in our sector, I think we've got you know, we're quite a good group anyway. Like you know, and obviously because of the platform and almost we've been forced to use digital channels more, so it's probably put more emphasis on our sector and our industry to sort of lead the way in terms of, you know, things like live shows, things like content sharing, webinars. Like we're probably better than most industries and sectors on, you know, we're more comfortable with this platform going into this situation. So I think there's been more emphasis and focus on us as a sector to sort of try to lead the way and show what the possibilities are, and kind of help to unite and galvanize people. You know, the work that you guys have been doing on the show, but also, you know, with the offering that you've been doing to help smaller businesses with kind of e-com solutions. It's those sorts of things that, you know, that have been really, really beneficial to help to shine a sort of a really positive light on our sector. And I think collaboration is no bad thing. We were always talking about collaboration prior to that. I think there's plenty of business out there, and I think all the digital agencies do it slightly differently, and there's some crossovers and overlap for sure. But actually, you know, it's great to be joining in the conversation rather than kind of trying to lock yourself away into kind of, you know, your own space. So yeah, I think it's hopefully been a positive experience for our sector, and I'd like to think that, you know, generally, and you know, you can see lots of other Kent-based digital agencies doing some really nice stuff as well. I've, you know, spoken to a number of them on the show as well, and it's great to see what they're doing and you know, share ideas and hopefully help everybody, you know, look at the positivity, look at the opportunities in what could be a pretty dark time. Sure. And so that leads me to finally ask you, in terms of the way that you see Sleeping Giant moving forwards, and how the landscape may look different in the business world in general, in the world in general, what's your kind of key takeaway from this experience, and how will you adapt and change? What will you carry with you as you move forward, lockdown or not? Crikey, that is a question right there. We have spent a good amount of time trying to assess behavioral changes. So we've tried to look at our clients' behavioral changes, our team's behavioral changes. What are we likely to have formed in terms of habits over the last few months? And also, and your previous guest, Alison, talking about, you know, the impact on the environment and how these things have kind of changed. So so we're reinventing our business. We're not
we're not going back to where we were. There's not a case of we're trying to get ourselves back to the old Sleeping Giant media, because that's gone. If we try to go back to it, it's not going to exist. There's no, that business is not the same anymore. So we're looking at every single aspect of our business and looking at what it will be in the future, in terms of office space, how we utilize that, working from home policies, client meetings, travel, every single, service delivery. How do we deliver it in a different way? We should focus on different aspects that will be more important to clients going forward. So we're the bits we're going to carry forward is sort of the agility. I think we want to make sure that our focus on content production, the sort of the timeline between the idea through to the final production is shorter, because we've had a good stab at it, and I think we've done a really good job. So I think it's trying to carry forward those, that aspect, but at the same time completely reinventing the business and almost seeing it as a new business that we're starting, rather than an old business that we're going back to.
Right. New world, new business.
New world, new business. Absolutely.
Where can people find you and find out more about you?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously there's our website, www.sleepinggiantmedia.co.uk. We're pushing loads of content there, but I mean, LinkedIn's a great platform. Obviously, feel free to connect, carry on the conversation there. I love meeting new people. I've tried to take this last 8 weeks as an opportunity to meet a lot of new people. I've had some fantastic conversations with people all over the world, sharing new ideas, which is has been, again, similar to how it was when I started. It was, I know confidently that I don't know enough to run a business, and I always have known that. And it's just a case of trying to find people that have got great ideas that I can kind of utilize in my thinking to help take it forward. So LinkedIn will be a great place, and love to hear, ideas and share conversations with new people.
Absolutely.
Cheers,
Thanks
Luke.
very much for coming on. It's been great.
Thanks for coming on, Luke. And just quickly before you go, just something for you to think about. Danny said about 4 minutes ago that he's got to go and deliver a talk, and then piped back up 2 minutes ago whilst he was talking about relaunching or changing up the business with new logo? Question mark. So I'll leave that one with you.
I don't know if he wants more work, but it's up to him, man.
Hey, Danny's got a lot of time on his hands now.
Apparently so.
I'll let you address that. Luke, thank you again for coming on. And
Pleasure.
again, thank you from us for all your support with your local dot delivery as well.
Nice one. Take care, guys.
Cheers, mate.
See you
Thank you.
later.
Take care. Bye, Luke. Lovely guest is Luke. And also, can I just say, it was quite sad hearing him say that the old Sleeping Giant media has gone in the way that they're looking to transform the business now coming out of lockdown, because it sounds sad when it's said like that. But when you think about the new opportunity and the new landscape to relaunch and reinvent the business, or a business to really tackle what post-COVID is going to look like, it's actually really exciting. Exciting, and it's a challenge. So yeah, can completely understand where Luke's coming from, and best of luck to the guys, as I said, at Sleeping Giant. They're all brilliant there, and thank you, Luke, for coming on. Great interview, Jack. Love that.
Yeah, that was great. Really fun.
Are you excited for this bit? It's our final challenge, Jack. Oh, how we've had fun. Oh, no,
my internet hub's flashing.
No, it's not. You're fine. You're fine. Having a look at your likes, you've made it to 233, which I think does deserve a round of applause. 233 likes in a week across your 6 videos on TikTok, I think is pretty impressive. Also 76 followers, so well done, Jack. However, you did not hit the target, so you have not completed the challenge, which means you have to do a punishment live on the show. We asked people at Digital Beans UK, what would you like to see Jack make? Either a chicken stock milkshake or a Marmite milkshake. And Jack, this is what is absolutely hilarious. On Instagram, joint with 4 votes each is both. So we've got a joint, we've got a tie on Instagram, 4 votes each.
That doesn't mean both.
Well, I mean, that's what it says in there. So I've just gone to Twitter, because we put it up on Twitter, and I had a look on Twitter. Marmite has got 3 votes and chicken stock has got 3 votes. So we are tied across the board, which I think does mean that you're going to have to put a tablespoon of Marmite in and the chicken stock. I'm not even making this up, by the way. We are actually joint on both chicken stock and Marmite milkshake. So as your punishment, Jack, for not completing the TikTok challenge.
Hold on. On Instagram, the 8 votes cast are Ben Pierce Talks, Ben PSKMFM.
Don't read out all my private accounts. I've got them for a reason. Let's do it.
I'm gonna tip the thing so you can see I really am doing this.
Okay, let's have a look. Talk us through what you're doing.
Oh no, wrong way.
Hello to James, who says chicken and Marmite shake. Yum.
Oh mate, this is not going to be good at all, is it? So, okay, stock cube. That's gone in. Oh.
Yeah. Have the milk whilst it still tastes like milk.
Mate.
Is that spoon even going to go in there? Oh yeah.
Oh, that's a lot.
Oh mate. Right, all that in. Come on, let's get all that in. You know what? If you was clever, you would have scooped out all the Marmite and you would have put chocolate spread in there, because on camera it looks exactly the same.
What, chicken and chocolate?
Well, it's a lot better than chicken and Marmite, I think. Right, so in our final challenge, Jack, you guys have voted as he didn't complete the TikTok challenge. Jack is going to have to blend and down a chicken stock and Marmite shake. This will definitely not be available anywhere ever. Look at that. Is it looking strong enough, Jack, or does it still look really milky? How does that look, Jack? Does it look?
I'm going to show you. I feel sick already. Oh my God, look at the top.
Oh no.
Oh, it's like all bubbled
no.
up. Can I sieve it?
No.
Okay.
Right, let's have that camera up. We need to see that face. Oh, now, here we go. Is it going in the cup? Oh, look at that.
Oh, did you see that lump?
Oh, God. Oh, no.
Oh.
How does that actually smell? Does it smell bad, or are you putting it on?
It smells like a chicken and mushroom pot noodle.
Oh, so it might be nice if you like chicken and mushroom pot noodles. Right, the final challenge, Jack. Jack, I'm going to count you down. No. 3, 2, 1. Neck it. Oh, crikey. I think he's reached a point where he thinks it tastes all right. This isn't bad. It doesn't look like he's going to throw up. He's doing this, and there's no... I think we might have just created a taste sensation, judging from how quickly this is going down.
There's lumps. I can't do lumps.
Come on, you've only got a bit to go. Oh, no, now I'm starting to feel a little bit sick. Ooh. Oh, no. Can we see the cup? Can we see the inside of the cup? Oh, look at that. That is disgusting. Oh. How was that?
It's quite nice. Actually, do you know what? The Marmite and the chicken stock cube work quite well together. And you don't really taste the milk. You forget it's milk.
So that wasn't as disgusting as you thought it might be.
It's pretty rank, mate. I'm not feeling great. I'm not feeling great.
Shall we say bye then? Let you run to the toilet. Guys, thank you so much for watching.
It's the last one. I've got to be, can I say thank you to everybody who's watched?
It's been good, isn't it?
Thank you for everyone that's been on, all the guests. And thank you for everyone that's sort of helped push and share the content. So we look forward to the next series.
Yes, series 2 will be back in a couple of weeks. We've got a little bit of a few best of shows coming up. So watch out on our YouTube for that. Guys, please hit subscribe. Really, really help us out with those numbers. And we will see you live in probably the middle of June. We'll be back with new guests, bit of a new format, bit of a touch up, and all will be great. Thank you for watching over the past 10 episodes, and we'll see you guys soon. Thank you to Alison and thank you to Luke for coming on today. Jack, thank you for being amazing next to me every week. And we will see you guys soon. Bye, everyone.